Call to order the Public Works and Utility Committee meeting, Lisbon Village Hall, Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 at 5:06 PM. Roll call, please.
Trustee Moonen,
Present, Sherry.
trustee Beal,
Here.
Jane Miller,
Here.
Joe Eberly,
Here.
Dan Pless,
Here.
engineer Neitzel,
Here.
administrator Green,
Here.
DPW director Willikowski,
Here.
deputy clerk treasurer Lisa Tremper,
Here.
and clerky Lisa Capazzo.
Stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 3, citizens comment, none in the gallery present. How about
No one on Zoom.
Zoom check is clear. Last call. Approval of meeting minutes. In your packet, there's a set of meeting minutes from October 15th. Any questions, comments?
I make a motion we accept as presented.
Motion made by Linda,
Second.
seconded by Jane. Any discussion on the matter? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, Lisa.
Motion carries 5-0. Item number 5, departmental reports. Department of Public Works, DPW Director Wilkowski.
All right, sorry I wasn't here last month, busy doing that Wire Road cross culvert, so for the highway department, we did a bunch of, base patching on Richmond Road and North Road. So that cross culvert on Town Line Road, that was a big one that the guys tackled and turned out really well. Finishing up the right of way mowing, which should be done within the day here, so. Cutting everything back nicely and then prepping plow trucks, air dryers, grease jobs, undercoating the whole 9 yards. So the highway's been up to parks, mowing and mulching leaves, kind of getting transition into winter mode, kind of finishing up everything out there. And then for myself, finished up working on the last of the 2026 budget items, helped the crews a lot, I guess, for the base patching and those culvert jobs we had to do. Worked on getting quotes for our air compressor in our shop as ours is starting to not work. That's easy way of saying that. And started kind of getting going on some 2026 crack fill and chip seal list going. And we sold our truck 4 on Wisconsin auction surplus for $53,500. So that was a good sell.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Very good.
What year is that?
2010,
How many miles are on it?
1,000 something.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I'm glad you're happy with it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
questions?
Who bought it?
Place in front of like a salvage place.
Oh, really?
Don't know the name of it.
Okay. Question, I have read online, I believe, that you're gonna be redoing Tamarack Road?
Yep.
How far Tamarack? 'Cause
Or
you
when the
were
boiler slide to that newish section, so right past that curve where it kind of transitions.
So it's gonna be going south,
Yes,
okay.
or north.
Oh, that was just done that, not that long ago.
Well,
From the 90s.
yeah,
North.
Yeah,
from that curve north,
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
so that's gonna be done.
Wasn't that done, when was that done originally? They put a new coating on it or something.
Long
No,
time.
well, they
I'm gonna say early 2000.
10 years ago, they probably put that was boiler stuff.
Yeah, boiler slide. They put it on.
Oh, my.
So yeah,
Let's
they
go
played the
back.
boiler slide like 10 years ago when you could get it now.
Okay,
But
okay, got it, thank you.
it wasn't done when the 2014
No.
road to the south was done.
That's all.
Thank you.
Time flies.
She was. Fast enough some days.
All right, anything for Nick? Questions? All right, utility district, Don Menzel.
Good evening, our reports in your packet, flows for the month of October continued to come down from the rains that we had received in August. Janine Lift Station, we were at about 28,000 gallons a day compared to 30,000 in September. Plainview, we were about 30,000 gallons a day compared to 33 in September, and Willow Springs, we're at about 30,000 gallons a day compared to about 35 for September. Basically the flows, if you look at, compared to 2023 and 2024, they're just slightly higher from what we had seen those prior years. So we're not that far off, but we are slightly above. Any questions on those?
Do you think it's maybe because it's starting to leak a little because of the age or whatever, or you think it's
I think just the amount of rain that we
just a month
received in
away?
August.
I was gonna say, I don't think we have a, well, maybe we did.
Ground's
Takes
so
time to
sensitive.
come down.
Yeah, sure is. Okay, thank you.
Moving on, Richmond School Lift Station, lift station had a total runtime of 67.3 hours. 34.1 hours on pump one, 33.2 on pump two. They both average about the same amount of runtime per day. The well readings, actually the water well readings for the month of October were 39,500 gallons, and the prior month was 49,100. Basically, that usage falls in line with what we've seen in 2023 and 2024. One thing I guess I'll mention, not anywhere else on here, Nick was doing some cleaning at the lift station. And he had called and made mention that the odor control didn't seem like it was feeding as much, and he claimed that looked like there was air in the line. So I did get a hold of Martell Water Treatment, and the next time they're around, which was supposed to be this week, they're gonna swing out, take a look at that. The other thing I did talk to them about is reducing the amount of chemical we are currently using. I think right now it's set up about 10 gallons per day. We're gonna crank that back to a 5 or 6 during the winter months. So. Any question? Non fire station, the water usage was up just a little bit from the previous month of September, about 7,100 gallons for October compared to 6,100 for September. And then, Casey's well, that was also slightly higher for October than it was in September. It was up about 5,000 gallons. But again, it seems in line with what we've had in prior years for those as well. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? 5C, Administrator Green with special projects.
Right. Emailed everyone a memo, I believe, on Friday regarding stop sign installation and some of the requests that we've had over the past couple of weeks. There's a nice news article or news story about the Lindale subdivision regarding uncontrolled intersections at a few points in that subdivision. And was drawn more attention to it because of an accident that happened on October 25th. And so Nick and I drove out there and took a look and thought of stop sign placements that would make sense, and ran those by Mitch, and he gave a letter that okayed our placement of those stop signs. We didn't create four-way stops because we wanted to have the traffic keep flowing through the subdivision, and according to Mitch, it didn't merit four-way stops in those intersections. So I just want to let the committee know that we did make those controlled intersections. We will still probably get some complaints from the residents who want four-way stops, specifically at one intersection. The reason we didn't do a four-way stop there is because there's a four-way stop 300 feet south of the intersection in question, so we didn't think it made sense to stop traffic, go 300 feet, stop it again. And I did tell the neighbors that if speeding is an issue over there, that we have different things that we can help to slow down or mitigate speeding. But stop signs aren't the mechanism for slowing down traffic, so. There might be some pushback, but just so you guys know, Nick and his crew did a great job. They got some TV time too, so that was great. We also had some requests for stop signs in Twin Pine Farms. There were a number of uncontrolled intersections in that subdivision, so Nick is working with the subdivision on that. That is an HOA that still exists, so the HOA will pay for the stop signs that we put in. We're not gonna honor all of the requests, but the ones that make sense for Mitch and for Nick, we're gonna certainly take care of those, so. And then there was another request for Celtic Bridge Estates. They wanted some stop signs along Ridge Drive to try and again slow down traffic. So we will not be moving forward with those. There was one request, I believe it was Adams Court at the end where it runs into Ridge, that we thought that one may merit or warrant a stop sign. So we'll look into that a little further, but yeah, those are the stop sign requests that we had, so. That's it. Any questions?
Question. Is this any kind of, when we're allowing subdivisions to come in, is that sign review part of the review of the subdivision? Because it seems odd that we're going into existing subdivisions and adding stop signs, and it should be part of the, in my opinion, part of the developer's responsibility when they're coming through with that.
It is, yeah, so I reached out to the developer at Twin Pine Farms, but that was too far long ago for them to do anything about it because they'd given it to the HOA at that point, so there's nothing they can do about it. Lindale Farms is what, 40 years old. So
Right, it just seems odd that we're going into old subdivisions.
I think we need to start looking closer at these subdivisions and making sure that we're putting control to the crossings where they need to be instead of just putting on the developer, just relying on them to do it. So
Right,
that's something.
I just think it should be part of the review
Yes.
process for the development.
Yeah, so we're noticing them on older subdivisions. I know Twin Pine Farms is, 10 or 15 years old at this point, so. Going through, we're gonna definitely be more conscious of where these intersections, what kind of signage we're putting in there, so.
Okay,
So
thank
that they
you.
can pay for them right away and don't go back and try and get them from HOA.
Mhm.
I do have one thing to add. You guys should have a letter in your packets from Waukesha County Department of Parks and Land Use, and I just threw this in as a matter of correspondence. It was just a reminder that was emailed out to all municipal clerks in the county, just about how private sewage systems are regulated. And this really does not apply to us because we don't allow that in new subdivisions. So it has to be fully contained on the lot. Just wanted to pass it out as a matter of correspondence.
Any questions for Dan? All right, 6A, unfinished business, discussion and necessary action regarding attorney opinion on options for ongoing I&I issues.
So I sent a, actually, I don't think I sent a memorandum, but this was included in when you got here. It's just a breakdown of essentially what the letter from the attorney talked about as far as what our capabilities are for enforcing infiltration. We had talked about it at this committee in the past, so I just wanted to bring it back up and discuss it. Just a couple of minor details. I drafted a draft letter that I would like to send to both the Richmond School and to drawing it.
Willow Springs.
Willow Springs, thank you. Willow Springs. And so, and I think you guys can read through it, but I think it clearly outlines, what our code says, what the state code says. And then gives them a time frame in which that they have to come into compliance. The question is, when do we want to send these letters out, and do we want to require a specific number of days to come into compliance? Or do we want it to be more of a work with the village on coming into compliance and not put necessarily a time frame or a timeline or a deadline for them? The initial letter was a little bit more aggressive, I guess, so Don called me up and let me know maybe to soften it up a little bit, so that they understand that we also will work with them on this, because we want to see improvement. So I guess, I don't know what the committee's feeling is, do we want to have a hard deadline, or do we want to kind of keep it open-ended and continue working with them?
I think if we keep it open-ended, we might have it open-ended. I myself would prefer, I mean, not right away, but there should be some date that they need to comply with. And are you looking for the village to help them with this work? When you say work with us, what do you mean by work with us?
I think part of it would be, you know, if we have any recommendations as far as where something filtration is. I know our code says that they have to determine where that is and they have to fix it. I don't know if they have a clue as to how to do that. So I feel like there is gonna have to be some direction given. And I know, Jane, I think you said you I don't know, Pewaukee works with residents or with businesses if this is an issue, that it's not necessarily a fix it or you're gonna get a fine sort of project.
Both of them are gonna be very long processes. They're not
Sure.
just a really easy fix. It's gonna take time to identify it, put together a plan, and even for a budget purpose, I think if we decide to do a deadline, I would do like a year or 18 months kind of thing, because it's gonna take a while to figure out what that is. And rather than just calling in a plumber and slapping something together, I'd rather have them put together a comprehensive plan. So I'd like to give them a length of time that they could put a little effort into it instead of just slapping a Band-Aid on it.
Sure. Well, and I think part of that, the village working with them is they're gonna get this letter, they're gonna call us right away. So we're gonna have to work with them in some capacity or another to sort this out. And Don and I talked about meeting with the school superintendent immediately after, or even just emailing the letter to her and then saying, let's sit down and talk about it and come up with options. And so I would imagine Willow Springs is gonna be a similar situation. And Willow Springs might be.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
I would propose that we give them a fixed deadline, and I don't have any problem with 90 days for them to submit a plan
Mhm.
of what they're going to do. And then based upon that plan should include a timeline for the work, because they're gonna have to go out, as you say, especially Willow Springs, and hire an engineer to figure out that mess that's over there to do it. But I think that we need to give them a firm, short duration. And I don't see any problem with 90 days, given the time of the year that it is. It's a submit a plan of how you're gonna do this with a date certain. And then we'll, including a timeline. And then that will prompt how long we should give them.
Mhm.
I don't wanna
agree.
open this up and give them a year or 18 months on day one. I wanna keep their feet to the fire.
Mhm.
Sure.
But I think we need to give them a short leash on when they're gonna submit a detailed written plan of how they're going to address this. Which will prompt them to go out and hire somebody to tell them what the problems are. Because we've seen, excuse me, with Richmond as an example, they've been fiddled around with this for a long time.
They do generally with anything. From experience.
Does that make sense to you?
Superintendents up there.
Mhm. I have no problem with the 90 days. I think it's great. It's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, I think 90 days is unrealistic to actually get everything completed, even based on the weather.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be able to do anything until spring anyway, so.
But the plan idea is good.
We just need a written plan of how they're going to address this in a timeline. Okay, thanks for doing this. Yeah, this is great.
I know that we believe that they'll call us right away, but maybe in the letter put that they have 15,
2 weeks. to
15
respond,
business
or-
days,
Yeah,
you know.
sure.
Something to acknowledge it, officially acknowledge it, because otherwise they could wait till day 89 and be like, we want an extension,
All right.
and, you know, we'll have to convene and address it then.
Probably not a good idea to start the letter out and say Merry Christmas. Fix- Okay,
Thanks.
So on that, do we want to keep that moving forward as unfinished? Or
Yeah, I would keep it on.
Mhm.
6B, discussion and necessary action regarding status update on lift stations?
So this item, I wasn't sure exactly what information you guys were looking at, or if you just wanted this as an item that we want to kept on the agenda in the case that something with the lift stations, a pump goes out or something like that. I think Don already referenced in his report that they did some work with both on the I guess it was a lift station. Richmond lift station, using a different chemical to try and clean out some of the sludge that's in the tank there. Seems to be working pretty well. But Nick was out there. I'll kind of let him speak to that.
Yeah, so, we'll get to the dates. The first day that I met out there with both, they wanted just to kind of get numbers on the pumps, what type of pumps we have, make sure. They did a few tests of see which one's drawing, see if one's drawing more than the other, just kind of testing out the pump so they have information for draining the whole lift station itself and how much time it takes to fill back up and doing engineer stuff. I can't really say a whole lot about that, but we did find out that there's a lot of fats, oils and grease fog in there, which they said that's gonna be really hard on the grinder pumps in there, so they recommended going forward, try just like once a month. Cleaning it or rinsing it out the best you can, so I came back last week, I think I went out there and with both again with one of their guys, and he had two different type of degreasers. One's more fast reacting one's a slow reacting one. So he actually did some samples and tested, actually scooped some of the fog out, put it in there, tested it, see which one broke up faster, and he was gonna bring that back to his other engineers to look over the results kind of ordeal, but after that, with the gallons of degreaser, that's when it came back to rinse it out quick. There's a bunch of fog in there again, so we cleaned it up, ran the pumps again, put degreaser in there, and it cleaned it up pretty well. So it's kind of just on my, I guess, to-do list once a month.
what have you got, Nick, to do that?
Do what?
Have you got a high pressure?
Well, the first day that we used with both, we just used a garden hose off the
Right.
school. Second time I did, 'cause it took a while to do, we have like a hydro seeder that has a pump on it that we can kind of control the pump off that, so we use like half throttle because it will swing.
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
And find it out.
it's really no difference too. Like, then there's.
So, yeah, so it's kind of on my monthly thing to kind of.
Vacuum truck or anything. I mean, did you try cleaning that stuff out of there or? did you
Well,
just
we were
try-
able to break it up and it dissipated and I dumped. So I could try dumping one of the things with degreaser in there and it did clean it up pretty well. So I know they're gonna come up with, they're gonna propose some different plans for that eventually type of thing. So as of now, when I just take the water, it breaks up fairly
Okay.
fast, but if it sits there for a long time, it's actually very thick. It takes a while to break up. So I stay on it once a month. It seems like. It'll help,
I think
maybe.
that's a good idea, but we should look at probably in a couple months, actually getting somebody out there with a back truck and cleaning that thing out all the way out. And that, I mean, there's a number of outfits that will do that. We can get prices on that to get that out of there. They're gonna take it over. I don't know if Sussex will take it, they may have to take it to Waukesha, but they'll know.
Yeah.
If I was Sussex, I wouldn't take it.
Almost goes to Jones Island. Because we're full.
Brookfield will take, yeah. You got new DPW.
So, yeah, that's kind of just an update with both and kind of what they. Checking out the pumps, seeing what they're working with and coming up with a plan, trying different degreasers. For a cheaper kind of initial to break up some of that, that's oil and grease and, like I said, now they're kind of working on some stuff and just kind of. Once a month, continue to go over there and clean it the best I can and then pump.
We've got to get
Does the school have grease traps?
Well, that's what
So
I
I
was gonna say.
talked, they do have a grease trap in the kitchen, but they do have it.
Yeah.
But are they 18?
Yeah,
Yeah. I gotta call in to Adam, the supervisor, to see how often they're cleaning that.
Yeah, I didn't
The
ask.
way this looks, that they,
I looked at that picture while I was having breakfast one morning, I'm going like, they don't, if they have a grease trap, it's a. They didn't get anything for the money, and I'm sure that thing hasn't been cleaned out since I was born.
They, we requested, the district requested that they put in their grease trap, they never had one. And there were a lot of issues, so we had to. So you have to put one in, but that was a long time ago.
Well,
Those smell really bad when you don't clean them.
Oh, I bet.
they're nasty.
That's gotta smell nice.
And they do
Oh.
require maintenance, and that's the problem. If you're
you
not.
gotta have a
Exactly.
contract
That's another thing that has to be,
and a report.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a delightful sight to see that, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so that conversation can be brought up when Don and I meet with the superintendent and their maintenance guys.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we want to
Well,
leave that on for next month?
yeah, I mean, there's some things in the whole thing that I think are worthy of talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously the recommendation for the fog in the lift station, having that pumped out, but, did we talk with them about those two recommendations they put in there? One being the ice, pigging?
I haven't talked to them about it yet.
yeah,
No,
this
I
was,
talked to
that was just brought up when I was out there with the guy about. One, chemical treatment, the degreaser, basically doing a drip system into the. Tank or into the line to kind of break up some sludge. Another one was ice picking, I guess, and that's supposedly, as I said, it's like a slurry that you. Push through the pipe through one of the air releases and ice is supposed to kind of grab whatever grease is on the lines and. Clean it out, I guess, they're all Pennsylvania, I know it's a very expensive thing to do, so that's why they're kind of recommending that. Chemical treatment first, because I thought he said it was something around like 40 grand for ice picking, you might have to do it more than once to get everything, so.
Assuming it can be done.
The
at all.
chemical treatment's
Well,
your
yeah.
cheaper first option. probably.
So do we still have that chemical being added at the lift
That's
station?
just for order.
That's just for
order.
That has nothing to
Has
do with.
nothing to do with this mess.
No, so the degreaser is something different, they have to do a different drip
Just to
system.
verify that we're maintaining. We're maintaining that,
What?
the chemical for the.
Yeah, that's what Don was talking about.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that was Martell.
yeah, when we were there, I just realized it wasn't really. Dripping as much type of water, usually there's like a kind of like a red circle in the water and there was like nothing dripping out and. We pulled off the cover for the pump and there was, you could see in the line, there's like an air pocket. And we tried disconnecting the line, tried hooking it back up and tried trying to get to the prime. I don't know the pump very well, so. I just didn't mess with it anymore, so it just wasn't, there's an air pocket somewhere in there.
Are we keeping track of your time and everybody's time and billing them for this? Because this is not insignificant, all of screwing around we've been doing for a couple of years now.
Well, I think what we're going through with this process is kind of part of that sewer amendment, so they're looking at options for us as far as whether we keep this and how we can maintain it, at least until we can replace it. So no, we haven't been, it's been kind of part of that sewer service amendment.
Right, I understand that, but I'm talking about next time going down there once a month or once a week or something like that. I mean, after a while, this should be billed to them, in my opinion, because this is not part of the 65-35 or whatever it is. I don't have the agreement on me, but whatever it is, this is stuff that they should be doing and paying for, and if we're doing it for them, then they, in my opinion, we should be billing them for it.
I think you're talking about him cleaning out
Yeah.
that, yeah, I can see that. The chemical treatment, this is for the 2-inch main, so I don't know that would probably fall under that 65-35 split. But, yeah, I mean, we can certainly try to
I mean,
track
we're-
the hours and.
This is gonna start adding up the real money, and this is not anything that should be a responsibility of the village.
I think it is the responsibility of the village, but I do think he should be at least tracking his time. And then deciding whether or not it should be billed, but I think now this is a very important part of his job that he didn't have before. So we should be tracking to see what that looks like.
You think the village should pay for the grease trap?
No, we're not talking about that, we're talking about checking on that pump station.
Yes. I think that is.
That grease trap is entirely theirs.
Not the village.
But if a large part of that fog problem comes from not maintaining that grease trap, it should be on them.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can start tracking those.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, that can go in the letter.
Mhm.
It gives, in my opinion, this gives them more of an incentive to fix the start of it.
True.
When they start getting bills every month.
Well, they complain about the bills they do get now, so.
Good. Good. They have enough money to put Christmas lights on the school now.
Really?
So I know that's about $15,000 or $20,000, but they don't have time to take care of this mess.
Wow.
Yeah, it's lit up like a veritable Christmas tree. Jesus, something. Okay,
So I'll follow up with Tom on these two options. I'm assuming the chemical treatment is going to be the more promising option and cheaper option, but also I kind of want to get an indication from him if this is something that we have to do soon, if we're looking at doing this in the spring, or if these are just guidelines for if we don't get a sewer connected, well, then this is what you need to do to maintain that 2-inch main. So
Well,
A lot of-
it's that's
Yeah.
the case. And so I know even what he's talking about with those air releases and maintenance, we've talked with Don about that, off and on through the last couple of years. And we've kind of postponed spending any money on those air releases pending the amendment.
sure.
So it's like our chicken and egg kind of thing is like, where do you go next? But
And part of this process was them looking at alternative options if we aren't getting sewer in that spot, so.
well, they need to be, because there's nobody that you're gonna be talking to that was around when this whole thing was put together. They need to be reminded on a regular basis that they, meaning the school, contracted for the design and the construction of that pump station and the force main. It was not the town of Lisbon. That baby is theirs. And they don't know that, and they need to look up, they can see the agreements that you provided us with. They did that. The town of Lisbon did not construct that pump station or the force main.
Yeah, they probably have no.
So if they start pointing fingers back at us, no, you came up with this, you failed to. Design it properly, you failed to properly install it and maintain it. That's your baby, not ours.
So just to be clear, we haven't never found the plans for that.
There's plans for it, but they're pretty rough.
Not only
And
that,
how
but they're.
How did we discover those? Because that wasn't,
The files that we had from here, we found them in boxes.
we did find.
But there's no indication that what was on those drawings represents what the heck is out buried in the field.
Do we-
That's the big problem.
Just a thought, do we know the school didn't lodge a record for that and retain? I mean, not that they would have to retain it, but there's an off chance
We might have it.
we might. I mean,
Contact's been made with the design engineer on that over time, of like, oh,
Mhm.
I just don't let them, when they start pointing the finger back at us. You did this, not us.
And we'll leave that one on there, I guess. Hearing none for 6B, we'll do 6C, discussion necessary action regarding sewer service area amendment.
Pretty much what our last 15-minute conversation was, it's about the same update I have for that. So they're still working on getting the plans for the Richmond school to determine, specs on measuring out the pipe or whatever would be connected to the school. They need to know what connection points are. And then as you saw, they're looking at alternatives for maintenance of what we currently have, but there's kind of a standstill until they got those specs on that 2-inch force main. Otherwise, I have no other update.
What phase are we in with this? I mean,
We're still in phases. Right now, they're working with Nick on maintaining the system we have, and then, like I said, until now that they have the plans for the school, they can start going through design concepts, and then so Warren's waiting on to come up with the first bits of the sewer piece, and then he's gonna use the information he gets from Tom to start with the comprehensive plan amendments. So one kind of waiting on the other, but it sounds like if they have it, they're probably gonna start getting rolling very quick here, so.
do we have like some kind of visualization or written timeline that we're looking?
No, we don't have a written timeline. I think we anticipated that it was gonna be a 1.5-year long process. Just based on our Tom's discussion with the village board, so.
Regarding that. Guess we'll keep that one. 6D, discussion and necessary action regarding possible future updates to sewer service code. Have any for that one?
I think it's premature to do it anymore at this point. So, there's a bunch of stuff that's gotta be put in there.
We're just,
And rush to it.
not that we're derelict in our duties, but we're keeping that on there because of the other ones that are.
Yeah, I mean, we can probably take it off until at such time that we have some more information on the sewer service update, because that's all gonna be contingent on that.
So we can table that to a date in the future uncertain.
Yeah, they probably bring it back around springtime.
Maybe do a quarterly update kind of thing.
Sure.
7A, new business discussion and necessary action regarding December meeting date due to holidays.
At your direction, I did send out an email last week, just seeing if there were going to be any issues with having a quorum, since we're getting close to the holidays. I did not hear back from anyone who was unable to make it. However, Administrator Green did mention this afternoon that he doesn't think we're going to have very much next month.
No,
So,
I think that the I&I issues were one that we wanted to get addressed for this meeting, but everything else is kind of on hold until we start moving either further along with the sewer. Service expansion besides Don's report, which I think if he can get the report, we can send it out to the committee members so they have it. That's up to the chairman.
Yeah, I guess, let's just keep it scheduled for now as we get within a week.
yeah, just in case something comes up and
We can
then,
make an assessment.
I'd
Right.
be interested to find out your meeting with Richmond. If you think to report. Or a response from either them or Will Spring, did you get this letter off in short order?
There's gonna be a letter to talk about their, infiltration issues, that we're gonna start charging them for this and that, and, grease trap issues. I don't know if I'm gonna walk out of them. We'll see. Hopefully they go after John and them.
No, you're going first.
Well, I've been through that building 100 times, so if you want me to go with you, right, I'm pretty. Sure. Targets, I don't have any problem with it. I know they spend enough time up there.
Right, committee members, have anything be placed on future agendas?
Okay, so I've got 6A, 6B, and 6C to continue placing on agendas, and 6D, we are holding off until spring, at which time we'll bring back for a quarterly update. Any additions?
How much fun as we can handle for the shoes.
Right, looking for a motion of adjournment.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Made by Linda, seconded by Mr. Everly.
Joe?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 5-0 at
5:47?
5:47 p.m.
Oh, yeah.